Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking every single tournament battles card in their final Evo ranking, basically. Tournament battle Evos, I do believe, are over. I could be wrong. There is a chance that the playoff cards continue to get Evos if their teams win in the playoffs, and honestly, I hope that happens because that would lead to some of the highest overall and best of these tournament battles cards to potentially to get even better. We'll see if there's anything else that gets done with these cards during those playoffs, but as of right now, I think this is the final form of all these cards, so we're going to rank them one by one. It sorted them by tier automatically, which is kind of annoying, so I'm literally just going to try to kind of randomize it as I talk. But if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 15,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I'm uploading every single day, tons of daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. And yeah, without further ado, I guess let's hop into it and let's take a look at this list. I think we got it scrambled up enough. We'll start with Ben Mathurin. Ben Mathurin goes A tier. I'm not 100% certain that I'd actually put him S, though, to be honest. He is a diamond and one of only 4 cards that had their teams win all 4 games the in-season tournament. And he's a very fun offensive card with a good release, pretty good SIGs, great slashing ability, really versatile card, but unfortunately, defensively, he's not elite, and he's also missing a couple of the offensive badges that I'd really like to see on the card. So he's a pretty good option and definitely deserving of an A tier spot, but I don't think he's quite S. I think Anthony Simons is pretty good, actually. This card is an awesome, super fun offensive card with great SIGs, a really nice release, super duper athletic, just awesome card, even as a Sapphire on the offensive end of the court. The problem is the Turbo is only one game in the tournament. Sapphire is just a little too low tier for him, and he doesn't defend at all. So at best, he's high B, or I mean low B. Might even wind up getting moved down to C. I don't think this Looney card's actually terrible. Kevon Looney, I feel like people wouldn't expect his card to be good in 2K, and yes, he's undersized at center, but he's got 75 speed. He can hit a wide open 3 with a high enough 3 ball to do that. He's pretty athletic, and he's not a bad defender either. Does have gold anchor. This card's actually pretty good. He's solidly B tier, I would say. Not a bad option. Kelton Johnson stinks. He's a 6'5 shooting small forward, not even shooting guard. 6'5 small forwards. He's undersized. He didn't get a single Evo because the Spurs, sorry Wemby, are still not good. Wemby's incredible, but the team as a whole is not there. Not sure about Jeremy Sohan. My Baylor, I mean, I loved watching him at Baylor. I'm a Baylor fan, or I was, but I don't know. Mark Williams is an inside big. There's probably going to be an inordinate amount of D tier guys. There's going to be several guys in D tier that are strong, very good. Mark Williams is kind of another one of them. He is a okay inside big, I guess, but I mean, he's got 65 speed. He can't shoot at all. He's an interior defender who has silver anchor, I guess, which is nice, and he's a pretty good dunker. He's got great size, great wingspan. I guess low C, maybe. He's not as bad as a few of these cards, but he's not particularly good. THT is pretty mid as well. He's only a 6'4 shooting guard. As a Ruby, he's just not that great. Great wingspan, but good speed, good dunker. He's got a high enough ball handle to time burst. He's an okay defender, but not great defensive badges. Playmaking badges are pretty good, but no speed booster. Shooting badges aren't there. Finishing-wise, he's okay. I don't think his release is great, though. His movement is not elite. I don't think this card is all that good. I think C tier is probably fair. Norm Powell is a 6'3 shooting guard. The Clippers only got 1 Evo in the in-season tournament, which was weird. They have just been struggling a lot this year. That Harden trade is not looking too hot for them. Okay-ish offensive card. I guess he's a good slasher, but defensively, he's not good, and he's only 6'4". I mean, he's not a good defender, and he's 6'4". His release is also on slow, because, like, bleh, that's disgusting. Slow release on a 6'4 shooting guard, like, no. Not going to do it, especially when you can't defend. I think Amin Thompson is S tier. This card is awesome. Even as a Ruby, he is incredible. If the Rockets had won a couple more games in the in-season tournament, I mean, even against my Mavs last night, I wouldn't have been totally mad if they had won then, because this card is an amethyst or even a diamond would have been insane. 73 3 ball isn't incredible, but he's got 95 speed and excel. He's an elite all-around defender. He's got 95 speed with ball, high enough ball handle to time burst, great slasher, 6'7 with a massive player build at shooting guard. He's an elite level slasher, very capable playmaker, gold speed booster even, which is a badge that most wings don't get. And then defensively, he's very solid and so big and so fast with very high lateral quickness. This card is very close to Diamond MJ as an overall card. Faster release than MJ as well. MJ's release is baited. Amin's release is fast, but it's a bit hitchy, so it's not a pretty release, and he's not a great shooter, but it is a fast release, and he's an awesome card. He's S tier. I think Dorian Finney-Smith is our second A tier card. I think he's very good. Just a super solid all-around option. 6'7", 7-foot wingspan, 3 and D, small forward. Can't ball handle, but he's a pretty good defender with very solid all-around defensive badges. Shooting badges are pretty good. Finishing-wise, he's very solid. Got good speed. Lillard dribble style is nice. Release is solid on this card. He does a lot of things really well. Very solid A tier card on this list. Patrick Williams, The problem is the Bulls are terrible. This card had a potential to be okay if they had won some games in the in-season tournament, but the Bulls are bad, and I would expect they blow it up soon. He's slow. He's not a particularly good defender. Doesn't really have defensive badge. He's a fine shooter with a good release, but definitely a card who is going to need significant evos to actually be very good. I think D tier is fair for him. Josh Green's release sucks, but I actually think he's an okay-ish card. He's 6'7" with a pretty good player build and a great 3-and-D option. Like, outside of the release being bad, he's a pretty good card. He's a solid defender, decent defensive badges, can guard on the interior a little bit, pretty athletic, good finishing badges, okay shooting badges, not much of a playmaker, but a high enough ball handle to time burst, at least with a diamond shoe. The release is just pretty bad on him. MJ dribble style is nice to have as well. Normal fade is a good one. Pro behind the back is good as well. It's just not good enough with a bad release. I think B tier is the highest I can put him. Jared Vanderbilt's definitely S tier. 6'8" power forward isn't huge, but he's a really good defender. He's hyper athletic, can time and burst to create his own shot a bit. Really, really good all around card. Very, very big fan of Jared Vanderbilt. He's one of the best tournament battles cards in the entire game. Karis LeVert's a really nice offensive shooting guard. I actually like him a lot offensively. His release is super duper nice, but he's not a great defender. Even with the Evo, defensive stats are okay, but he doesn't have the badges to match. Shooting badges are good. Finishing badges are good. Playmaking badges are okay. No bailout, no blow by, no speed booster though. Like shooting isn't, or the stats aren't quite where I need them to be, or the badges I should say. Really, release is good though. MJ dribble style is very good. He's a very good offensive card, but I think the defensive liability. Gotta go. I'm sliding down to B tier. I think that's fair. Jalen Duren's an inside big. The Pistons are awful. They just like the Pistons. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry for Pistons fans, but Jalen Duren is he's a fast inside big, I guess, but he doesn't have the key badges he needs. No, inside big, not a good card. S tier for Derek White for sure, no doubt about it whatsoever. He is one of the best cards on this list. I really wish the Celtics had gone 4-0, and I thought they were going to. But Derek White's already awesome. He's an elite defensive guard. He's got a really nice release, good sigs. He can dunk wide open, which is honestly good enough for me. Super solid offensively, has gold speed booster as well. Awesome card, very high on Derek White. I think he's literally a borderline top 5, 6, 7, 8 point guard in the game. Naz Reid, is he S tier? He's close, but I don't know if I'd give him the S tier. He's only 6'9" at center. He is a stretch big, but he's better at center than he is at power forward. I like this Naz Reid card a lot. He's got very good speed. He's a good shooter, decent defender even without anchor. Does have half brick wall and posterizer. Very good finisher. Playmaking badges aren't quite there. His release is good, not incredible. He's a really nice card, and I think he's very, very close to S tier, but I'm not 100% sure that he actually cracks my S tier. He's damn close, though. I think high A to border. I'll give him S. I'm going to give him S. I think it's fair. I think he's good enough. Jalen Williams was a card who had potential to be pretty good, and honestly, the Thunder themselves are a very good team, but they didn't get very many wins in the in-season tournament. Only one. He's only 6'9" at center. He doesn't have the speed that you really want out of a big, and he's not quite there defensively. I mean, the defensive badges are pretty good, but the stats aren't incredible. Only at 6'9", not an elite athlete either. Too slow. He's meh, but I think C tier is fair. Valanciunas is good. This Jonas Valanciunas card, he's a 7-footer nearly. I think he's 6'11" with a pretty good wingspan. Can shoot the ball with pretty decent speed as well. Yeah, 6'11", 7'3" wingspan. Pretty good finisher. Shoots the ball pretty well. Okay dunker. Defensively, he's not bad at all. Silver anchor, half brick wall. Can shoot the ball okay on a catch and shoot. He's not quite going to give you the athleticism of a couple of other bigs on this list, but I like the Valanciunas card. I think he's very solidly A tier. Very, very good card. Luke Kennard is an incredible shooter with a great release, which puts him C tier, but the Grizzlies are terrible without Ja. Have really been struggling this season. He didn't get a single Evo. He doesn't defend at all. He's not where he needs to be as an overall card. He's C tier. Josh Hart, probably borderline A. I don't love Josh Hart as an overall card, but I think he's okay. Probably B. I don't know. I don't love the card. His release is okay-ish. He's a pretty good defender, but he doesn't do a ton offensively as a shot creator. He's only 6'4". He's an amazing rebounder and a good interior defender, which does help with the size. Back of A to B, like, he's okay. Josh Okogie's in the same boat. Josh Okogie's release is worse than Josh Hart's, but he's faster than Hart, and he is more athletic than Hart as well. I think he's an overall better card statistically and badge-wise, but I like Hart's release better. But as an overall card, I think Josh Okogie's a little bit better. Has speed booster. Josh Hart does not. He has the D-book dribble style, which is better. Josh Okogie is definitely A tier. I think Josh Hart's on the borderline, might get moved down. I think he will get moved down as well, actually, because I think KCP is better than both of those guys. KCP's a great 3-and-D card. He, unfortunately, the Nuggets, another great team, but Jamal Murray got hurt, and they struggled a little bit. They've been struggling as of late, and just a bit anyway. Not like the Nuggets, not like I'm worried about them, but I do think he has to go. He can't go. I mean, he didn't get the evos he needed, so he's not quite the slasher shot creator that I was hoping he'd be. Still a really good 3-and-D card, but not quite there. I'd say Wendell is definitely a like borderline S. I think Wendell gets the last S tier spot. If I have 6, I think I would give the last one to Wendell. Really good inside big again. Like Nas Reed, and one other guy we're about to get to. I'll just say Bobby Portis. All those guys are really, really good. Portis is the best of the 3, but Nas Reed and Wendell Carter Jr. are both very, very solid. Decent defensive bigs. You can stretch the floor pretty well. Have pretty good athletic ability. Honestly, very, very similar cards. Nas Reed and Wendell Carter Jr. Caleb Martin is pretty mid because he's only 6'5" at small forward. Like, that's just not very big compared to some of the big elite small forwards that people are running right now, like KD and LeBron. Like, good luck. Even Michael Beasley and guys like that. Defensively, he's okay. He's got pretty good defensive stats, but he can't ball handle either. He's an okay shooter, but doesn't have elite badges. I don't think his release is great. His movement isn't there. He's pretty mid. I think C tier is very fair. Bobby Portis definitely goes S tier. He's one of the best few cards on this list. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's a really good big. His release is super duper nice. He's athletic. He dunks the ball well. He defends well. He's a versatile defender. He's a good rebounder. Really good card. Malik Monk is a microwave scorer, but he's not actually that good of a card. He's a terrible defender, and his release honestly isn't that great. Fun card to use, but I can't put him higher than B tier despite him being a diamond. Denny Avdia is a 6'9" small forward, but the size is about where the positives end. His release is not elite. He's not fast. He's not a great shooter. He's not a great defender. He doesn't have great badges. He's just not a very good card. DeAndre Hunter is okay-ish, so I think he definitely is at least C. You could honestly make an argument for B, I would say. There we go. It's an apostrophe. Evo'd up. I mean, he's an okay shooter, pretty decent. He's an pretty good defender with pretty good defensive badges, which is nice. He's okay athleticism-wise. Speed is pretty good. I don't really know what his release looks like, but I think he's good enough to be B tier. I'm looking at the card and I'm going, he looks pretty good. I think B tier is fair. Tobias Harris is an awesome shooter with one of the better releases that we have seen. I really do think you could argue him A tier. Like, I like this card a lot. No, I don't like him as much as Josh Hart, though. I think Josh Hart's better overall. I think Tobias is really good offensively, kind of like Malik Monk, but also kind of like Malik Monk. Not very good defensively. He can't shot create much either. Doesn't have the key badges he needs. Doesn't have a high enough ball handle to time burst. He just has an awesome release, and he's got decent size at small forward, but not great. Like, he's B tier. He's fine. He's just not amazing. I like him offensively, but he's not a great all-around card. Gary Trent Jr. is our last card, and I think C tier probably for him. He's okay defensively, but there's a lot of guys still better than Gary Trent Jr. Only 6'5" at shooting guard. He's actually worse defensive than I thought. Does have gold limitless blinders, catch and shoot, blow by, posterizer, precision dunker. Offensively, he's not bad, but I know his release is not elite. I know it's been changed this year, but the Gary Trent release is still not that great. And defensively, he doesn't have the badges. He's pretty mid. Like, at best, C tier. You could argue D. As a whole, there have been some good cards in this list. A lot of the S tier guys, well, all the S tier guys and some of the A tier guys, I'd say are very, very good cards. There's a lot of viable options out of this promo, and I think it was a very fun promo to keep up with for sure. Not a ton of truly top 10 options, like top tier cards in the game, but there's definitely a few. The top 4 or so guys in this promo are awesome options that can compete with the best guys at their position in the game. And considering all these cards are 13k MT, provides a lot of great budget players for a casual player or somebody who is newer to the mode. So I hope y'all did enjoy the video, and let me know what y'all think of my tier list. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.